What's going on, y'all? 5 Sports Talk back at it with another video talking some NBA and breaking news. Paul George is finally on the moves. Yes, that's right. The Indiana Pacers have finally traded Paul George. And to what team? Wait for it. Not the Cleveland Cavaliers, not the Boston Celtics, not even the Houston Rockets, but instead the OKC Thunder. Yes, that's right. Paul George is headed west to join Russell Westbrook and company in OKC, as Indiana has traded him to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Forget this. Victor Oladipo and Domantas Sabonis. That's it. Nothing else. Those players for Paul George. So here to break down this trade, who won, who lost this trade real quick, and from looking at it from both perspectives. First of all, I just want to yell at Danny Ainge because are you kidding me? You couldn't beat this offer? You couldn't beat this offer for Paul George? You were willing to hoard your assets, and just because Indiana probably asked for Terry Rozier, you hung up the phone. I am sick and tired of Danny Ainge just hoarding his assets and thinking that no player is worth giving up. I'm just using, like I said, Terry Rozier for, Marcus Smart for, Jay Crowder for, and it's like, can you give up some asset? You actually have to give up something to get something back. And Danny Ainge struck out again. He struck out on Jimmy Butler. He strikes out on Paul George. And now, Celtics fans, if you strike out on Gordon Hayward, then what? So, like I said, with Danny Ainge, he strikes out on Paul George. And all the Oklahoma City gave up was Victor Oladipo and Domantas Sabonis. So let's look at this real quick from OKC's perspective. I like this trade a lot for OKC because now you give Russ some help. Of course, they refill that small forward position now with Kevin Durant, but with Paul George. And Paul George is the perfect complementary superstar. I'm not going to say superstar. Let me say star to Russ. Because he's a secondary ball handler, he's a great perimeter defender, and he can take the scoring load off of off of Russ. And the best part about this is because he's a secondary star, Russell Westbrook doesn't have to worry about playing that 1A, 1B role. I mean, Paul George, everyone knows, is not as good as Russell Westbrook. So he will fit in very nicely as a secondary star. And now you've got a lineup of Russell Westbrook, Andre Roberson, Paul George, Enes Kanter, and Steven Adams. Bench is a little weak, but hopefully they add some players in free agency via to their bench via free agency. But I love it for the OKC Thunder. Do I think Paul George stays? Well, I think they have a shot if they have some playoff success. But for the OKC Thunder, this is a chance you have to take a look. Russell Westbrook, you don't want him to leave like how KD left, so you got to show him that you're willing to build around him. So for that reason, I have to give the OKC Thunder props. They didn't really give up too much. I like Sabonis. He was decent, but he wasn't anything great with great potential. Oladipo was decent last year. He kind of regressed, really. So you really didn't give up a lot. Like I said, if this was the offer for Paul George, I'm surprised Cleveland couldn't get him for Kevin Love. And Indiana at this point, who I'm going to be talking about very quickly, did they lie about the offers they got? Because this could not be the best offer. If this was the best offer, then the other offers, I don't even want to know how bad they were. Real quickly now, let's talk about the Indiana side of this. Not a big fan of this trade. I'll be very honest with you. I'm going to have to give the Pacers probably a C- or D+ for this because I know the market was very short for Paul George. It was very small. There weren't a lot of people willing to take up a 1-year rental. But to me, it's about the future because trading away Paul George means rebuilding. And yes, Victor Oladipo is a young rebuilding piece, but he regressed last year like I mentioned. Then you have Sabonis, who's another nice young player, but I would have preferred them to get draft picks. I thought at this point, are you really going to put your core and build your team around Oladipo and Sabonis? These are not building block pieces to me. Victor Oladipo is nice, like I said, but I don't know if he's ever going to be that guy. So for me, not a big fan of this Indiana Pacers deal. I thought they should have gotten a little bit more, maybe not even like a great first-round pick. You couldn't even get like a late-round first-round pick for Paul George. It's hard for me to believe. Honestly, Cleveland probably could have put up a better package than OKC did, so I'm very surprised that Indiana took it. But hey, maybe this was the best offer on the table for the Pacers, but I'm not a big fan of the move. But with that being said, at least you traded him because you were going to lose him for nothing. That was not an option. But with that being said, That is what I think, folks. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below about this trade. Who won, who lost. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And as always, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching.